listeners, and welcome to the Four. I'm Madison Sims.
And I'm Giselle Mayorga. Today is Monday, January 27th, 2020. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, boys and girls, teachers and staff. This week is Celebrate Literacy Week, and I, your principal, Mr. Jackson, am so excited to celebrate literacy with you. And now some of you might be saying, well, what does literacy mean? Literacy means that we have books and we have reading as a big part of our life. Both as little young kids that are starting off with us in pre-K and kindergartners, and then our 8th graders that are getting ready to fly off and go to high school. Literacy is a key to success, and literacy in your life and books in your life will make a difference. So, as a special treat for this occasion, I'm looking forward to reading to you my favorite book ever. It's called The Five Chinese Brothers. The Five Chinese Brothers was written by Clara Huget Bishop and Kurt Wiesel. Why is this my favorite book ever? Because this exact copy of The Five Chinese Brothers was at the Fort Braden School just down the road from us way back in 1978 when I was just a 3rd grader. And I would check out The Five Chinese Brothers every single week in 3rd grade and bring it back to class and take it home and read it over and over again. And while the ending never changed, I always found the book to be super exciting and a great way for 5 Chinese brothers who looked exactly alike to be able to show justice. Now, I'm not going to be able to read the whole thing to you, but there's a special spot that I'm going to stop in the book, and I encourage you to come down and check out The Five Chinese Brothers so that you can make this a part of your literacy experience here at Fort Braden School. The author says that this book was written to my father, who made me love China, and to my mother, who was a born storyteller. The Five Chinese Brothers. Once upon a time, there were 5 Chinese brothers, and they all looked exactly alike. They lived with their mother in a little house not far from the sea. And of course, they look alike from behind, but you'll see in a minute they look alike in the face as well. The first Chinese brother could swallow the sea. Might have gotten some indigestion from some sharks and things. The second Chinese brother had an iron neck. Clank, clank, clank. The third Chinese brother could stretch and stretch and stretch his legs. Makes me think of the Fantastic Four. Stretch and stretch and stretch his legs. The fourth Chinese brother could not be burned. That's kind of like the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. And the fifth Chinese brother could hold his breath indefinitely. That means forever he could hold his breath. Well, every morning the first Chinese brother would go fishing, and no matter the weather, he would come back to the village with beautiful and rare fish, which he had caught and could sell at the market for a very good price. One day, as he was leaving the marketplace, a little boy stopped him and asked him if he could go fishing with him. "No, it cannot be done," said the first Chinese brother. But the little boy begged and begged and begged, and finally the first Chinese brother said, "Under one condition, and that is that you shall obey me promptly." That means right away. "Yes, yes, I promise," the little boy said. There's the first Chinese brother catching his exotic and rare fish. So early the next morning, the first Chinese brother and the little boy went down to the beach. "Remember," said the first Chinese brother, "you must obey me promptly." That means right away. "When I make a sign for you to come back, you must come at once." "Yes, yes, I will," the little boy promised. Then the first Chinese brother swallowed the sea. He didn't even use a straw. And all the fish were left high and dry at the bottom of the sea, and all the treasures of the sea lay uncovered. The little boy was delighted. He ran here and there, stuffing his pockets with strange pebbles, extraordinary shells, and fantastic algae. There he is. This is the first Chinese brother holding the whole sea in his mouth. Near the shore, the first Chinese brother gathered some fish while he kept holding the sea in his mouth. Soon he grew tired. It's very hard to hold the sea, you see. So he made a sign with his hand for the little boy to come back. The little boy saw him but paid no attention. Now remember, he promised he would come back as soon as he gave him the signal. And he held the sea. And he held the sea some more. Finally, the first Chinese brother made great movements with his arms that meant, "Come back, come back." But did the little boy care? No, not a bit, and he ran further and further away. Then the first Chinese brother felt the sea swelling inside him. And he made a desperate gesture to call the little boy back. But the little boy just made faces at him and fled as fast as he could. So he didn't live up to his promise. The first Chinese brother held the sea until he thought he was going to burst. All of a sudden, without any warning, the sea forced its way out of his mouth and it went back into the bed of the ocean. And the little boy disappeared. Sorry about that. When the first Chinese brother returned to the village alone, he was arrested, he was put in prison, he was tried, and he was condemned to have his head cut off. On the morning that he was to be judged, he said to the judge, "Your Honor, will you allow me to go and bid my mother a goodbye?" "It is only fair," said the judge. So the first Chinese brother went home, and the second Chinese brother came back in his place. Now remember, they condemned him to having his head chopped off. That's really scary. All of the people of the village came together on the village square to witness his head being cut off. Yuck. They all waited. And you're going to have to check out the 5 Chinese brothers to find out the rest of the story. When we finish today, I want you to think about all the powers of the 5 Chinese brothers and what you think might happen next if they were to try to chop his head off. Thanks so much for enjoying Celebrate Literacy Week with me, but more importantly, the 5 Chinese Brothers, Mr. Jackson's favorite book of all time. And yes, I hope to see some of you 8th graders down here fighting for copies of the 5 Chinese Brothers. Thank you again, and we appreciate your participation in Celebrate Literacy Week.
Only 48 degrees with a high of 61 and a 30% chance of rain.
Today's lunch is brunch for lunch with pork sausage patty or egg omelet or chicken sandwich with a choice of seasoned green beans or tater tots and assorted fruit.
Hey Giselle, you want to hear a joke?
Sure, Maddie.
What do farmers give to their wives on Valentine's Day?
I don't know. What?
Hogs and kisses.
Ha 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 ha.
Attention all 8th graders, this is an important message for you. It is time to turn in your baby pictures to be included in our 2019 to 2020 yearbook. Make sure you include your name and your homeroom teacher's name and turn them into Miss Leonard or Miss Wood by February 7th.
Attention Beta Club members. The next Beta Club meeting is Friday, January 31st in room 132 at 8 a.m. If you have any questions, please see Miss Leonard, and please bring all paperwork and your dues to this meeting.
This message for the SGA members. Your next SGA meeting is tomorrow at 8 a.m. in room 132. If you have any questions, please see Ms. Leonard.
Bingo for books is Thursday, January 30th at 5 p.m. Please turn in your participation form so that we can plan for dinner numbers. We hope that everyone will be able to make it for this fun night.
The first girls' soccer game is tonight against Fairview at Bellevue Field. The game starts at 6 p.m. Please come out and support our Lady Pioneers.
Thank you for watching WFBS.
Make it a great day, Pioneers.